Today, I'm going to be talking about the features that I expect to be in the Nightlife update and what we're going to be able to do with and inside of the nightclubs that we're going to be purchasing and owning in the next Grand Theft Auto Online DLC. Now, before we jump into the features of these nightclubs that we're going to be buying, owning, and running, Yan did clarify some extra details yesterday. He said, just to add a detail to the conversation, since it didn't fit in my tweet, I do believe all the nightclubs that can be bought are in Los Santos and Los Santos only, though I'm not 100% sure. So yesterday I talked about some nightclubs and some bars in Palito Bay and Sandy Shores. So if Yan's right, although he said he's not 100% sure, that would eliminate places like the Hen House and Yellow Jack Inn. But once again, he said he's not 100% sure. But yeah, the nightclub scene in Los Santos does make more sense in the city than out in like the country. But I still think both could be really cool. And I'd like to see both, but according to Yan, it looks like it's only going to be in the city. Now, in order to talk about features of nightclubs, we have to go back to Grand Theft Auto 4 and The Ballad of Gay Tony, which was a DLC for GTA 4. So in Grand Theft Auto 4, there was only one interactive club, and that was Club Liberty, which served as a bar where the player and a friend or girlfriend could go for a drink. So that's one feature I think is going to be of these nightclubs. It's going to be a very casual place for our characters to meet up, have drinks. There's probably going to be an option to sit around at a bar or a table, very similarly to what you can do on the yachts, how you can like all get in the hot tub and sit together. There's probably going to be something very passive and very casual like that. Now, in The Ballad of Gay Tony is where we see the nightclubs take shape with more things to do, in particular during the campaign. So there's two nightclubs in particular that you had a lot of responsibilities for. Masonette 9, which was Gay Tony's straight celebrity club, and then there was Hercules, which is Gay Tony's gay bar. Now, while in Masonette 9 or in Hercules, the player had options to partake in a bunch of different activities, the first of which is dancing. Now, we have seen a bunch of dancing or rhythm-based video games in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but more predominantly in Grand Theft Auto 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony. So there was a lot of different dancing games that you could do. And if you guys have seen the interior of Bahama Mamas, you guys know that there is a full-fledged dance floor with like shining lights, a disco ball. The floor itself changes colors. So I think it's going to be exactly the way it was in The Ballad of Gay Tony. You could essentially dance with yourself or dance with a partner. That's what Luis Lopez did a lot. Or you could almost have a dance competition, maybe with other players, maybe with NPCs. That's something that Luis could also do in The Ballad of Gay Tony. Now, what's pretty interesting is in GTA 5, there's actually a cut minigame, a cut dancing minigame that has, lines that say great job or nice moves or, poor or you didn't do that right or superstar. So Rockstar actually cut this from the original GTA 5 game, and it would not shock me if they decided to reuse this for the Nightlife Nightclub DLC. So I think that is going to be a huge part of the nightclubs themselves. Each one of them is going to have some sort of dance floor that you can go on. And I would imagine that would be upgradable as well. Various colors, maybe the type of music that's played, maybe the size. Obviously, I'm sure Rockstar will have a small, medium, and a large. The largest one obviously being the biggest and the one that can suit the most people. I would assume it would be very similar to the offices, the bunkers, the hangars, where you're going to have a lot of different things you can customize. The color scheme, maybe some extra things in there like a VIP suite or an office that you can use to spawn in there. I'm sure it's going to take a lot of different things from the other properties that we already have in the game. So I think that modifying the dance floor is going to be one of the biggest parts of the nightclub. I mean, obviously, what's a nightclub without a dance floor? You see it in not only games like GTA, but also in movies like Scarface. It's a huge part of the culture and stuff like that. So that's the first thing I think is going to happen. Nightclubs with dance floors that's going to include casual dancing and rhythm minigames. Now, the next thing you can do, and this is one thing that you could do in The Ballad of Gay Tony, you could actually drink with other people. So you could do this casually with like the celebrities or the college kids that actually came inside of the bar. In The Ballad of Gay Tony, the player has the option to drink alone or with friends at the bar. And both of those times, it was free. In fact, if Luis headed up to the VIP room, he could take part in a champagne drinking contest. So Luis can enter drinking contests with other club goers, and the goal is to completely down a bottle of champagne as fast as possible. Now, after each game, Luis will be very drunk. However, this effect can stop instantly if Luis goes downstairs and takes a shot from the bar, which in real life wouldn't make sense. But I feel like there's going to be drinking games like this that you can do inside the club, and it would be cool if you could do that with other players. Now, I don't want to set a bad example here. You obviously need to know that this is a video game. Doing that in real life would probably have some ramifications and consequences, but in a video game, it can be fun. And chugging champagne with your friends in a nightclub would obviously be really, really cool. Now, the next feature of the nightclubs is club management. So this was a side activity that Luis Lopez actually had to take place in, and club management was essentially a series of missions. Now, the objective of club management is to supervise over the main parts of the club and deal with the troublemakers when trouble arises. So essentially, in the Ballad of Gay Tony, Luis had to assist 8 different celebrities and handle various requests that they had. Like, they had to run errands for them during the club, they had to keep watch over the club, deal with troublemaker, drunks, dealers until the club closes. And I would imagine in Grand Theft Auto Online, we'll be doing sort of the same thing. We'll probably have to run errands for various VIPs. Like, imagine the VIPs in the world of Grand Theft Auto coming to your nightclub, and you had to take care of them. You had to make sure they had a good time. And if you did, maybe you would get a money bonus. I'm assuming the same thing would ultimately happen here. Now, at the end of the day, I also believe the nightclubs are going to be a business opportunity, very similar to some of the other businesses that have been added into the game. But unlike some of them, I feel like this is going to be a passive money opportunity. Now, I think this for 2 reasons. Number one, I feel like it makes sense. Like, what would you do for a nightclub to go out and get stuff and bring it back and then sell it? That doesn't make sense. But also, number 2, Rockstar have a pattern of, doing the businesses, one where you have to be more active and one where it's passive. So the finance and felony crates, that was active. The biker business, that was passive. Import-export, that was active. Gun running, passive. Smugglers run, active. So now this would be our next business, and it would be nightclubs, and that, of course, would be passive. So I think it is going to be a passive income where it just grows over time, and maybe doing the things I mentioned earlier, like impressing VIPs, will help your stock or whatever sort of item you have grow in order to sell it and make more money. Now, because it's going to be a passive business, I can imagine that it's going to have security upgrades, equipment upgrades, staff upgrades as well, just like your bunker stuff, just like your biker businesses. I don't believe there's going to be vehicle storage here. I feel like that would be a little bit awkward inside of a nightclub unless Rockstar allow you to either, number 1, store your vehicles outside of the club, which would be cool, having them like parked outside, or maybe number 2, a secret underground area where the cars would be. But I still don't think that makes sense, especially given the location of a lot of the nightclubs, how they're right next to apartments and offices. So your cars would be relatively close regardless. So although I do believe you're going to be able to spawn in there, I don't think you're going to be able to take vehicles inside of the nightclub. I think it's going to be restricted, sort of like the bunker. Moving on, you guys might have seen this in some of the background gameplay, but another thing I really want Rockstar to do is mini games. So we have a couple of different sort of mini games you can do in online right now, whether it's darts or whether it's something simple like arm wrestling. But I'd like some mini games that are exclusive to the nightclubs, making them more valuable. One of the things I would consider there is maybe pool. That's something that can actually be found in a lot of the different areas in game, but we can't actually shoot pool. Some other maybe dancing or DJ mini games would be pretty cool as well. I just want Rockstar to add exclusive things that you can only do in the nightclub. Make them a little bit more worthwhile. I feel like that was the big problem with the yachts. The yachts were these big, shiny areas to live, but they didn't really offer anything all that exclusive other than just going into the hot tub. So more minigames would be awesome, or just something a little bit more exclusive that you can only do inside of the nightclubs to make them a little bit more valuable. And the final thing I want to talk about today is who is going to be the person that leads us through this. I think the answer might be someone from the Ballad of Gay Tony. So you guys know, every time we open up a new business, someone is always there to lead us through it. With the biker stuff, it was Malcolm from the Lost MC Motorcycle Club. For Smuggler's Run, it was Ron from the campaign. So we've seen Rockstar introduce new characters and old characters to lead us through our business. How cool would it be if someone like Gay Tony Prince led us through opening up our nightclub? Although, at the end of the Ballad of Gay Tony, he stated that he was getting out of the nightclub business. So who would make sense to lead us? And you're going to like this answer. I think it's going to be Yusuf Amir. So you guys know throughout the Ballad of Gay Tony, Yusuf Amir was in talks with Tony Prince to franchise his nightclubs. Well, wouldn't you know, nightclubs are in Los Santos. He would be the perfect person to lead us through this franchising opportunity for a new nightclub. So I do believe it's going to be Yusuf Amir that will lead us through this journey, buying, owning, and running nightclubs in Grand Theft Auto Online. But anyways, that's all the information that I'm going to be talking about for you guys in this video today. Those are the features that I believe we're going to be seeing in the nightclubs when they arrive in Grand Theft Auto Online. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What do you think are going to be some of the features that we see in nightclubs? Maybe something from the Malibu Club in Vice City or some of the nightclubs in GTA 4. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.